Hey guys, it's Christine. Are you ready to go live with me and talk about international travel? Let me click over here on Instagram so we can go live there too. And checking if we're live on YouTube. So, we're going to talk about international travel today. And this is the first in my series of daily tips for traveling. Now, I've got some big news. I'm going to be traveling south of the border down to Panama. And so I thought I'd take you along with me virtually by helping you to see how I prepare for a trip. Okay. And so every single day, I'm going to be giving you tips. And then I'm going to also tell you about how to learn more about travel. If you go over to my website, christineelder.com/travel, you'll learn more about how you can learn about travel with me. So, anyway, I'm Christine Elder. I'm a naturalist, environmental illustrator, visual artist, and world traveler. And I've taken people on trips around the world, nature sketching and bird watching. And so I just really wanted to share what I know about travel with you guys to make you feel more confident about traveling. Okie dokie. So let me see here. Where are we here? I want to make sure everything's going right. Good, good, good. Okay, so I'm going to give you some tips for your passports. Okay, so when you're going to be starting to plan an international trip, the first thing you want to do before you think about destinations or flights or language or packing, you want to make sure you've got your passport. Now, if you haven't ever had a passport, make sure you apply for it at least a few months before you're going to leave. You can pay for expedited shipping, of processing of your passport, but you never know. So it's really good to get that done. Now, most of my tips relate to US passports. Of course, people all over the world in the 196 countries or wherever there could be other rules, but our rules about passports are related to the US Department of State, who regulates those passports and who issues those. So, anyway, that's the first thing you want to do when you're going to travel is get your passport. And so, one fun tip is that you can actually take your own photo nowadays. People don't know that, and they think they have to pay a lot for a photo. And you can take your own. You just have to follow a few rules, and they'll tell you about those on your country's website, like the U.S. Department of State. But like, you can't be wearing glasses or a hat or a bunch of weird clothes, and you can't have a weird smile on your face, and it's got to be a nice, clear headshot. And don't be too embarrassed if it doesn't look that great, because really, nowadays the new passports, at least here in the United States, here's mine. You can barely see the photo and it's pretty small, so it doesn't even matter if you're not smiling. But this one's actually a little bit creepy because you can't be smiling in your passport, at least in the United States. So anyway, like I said, most of my tips are related to travel from the United States for U.S. citizens. But the tips might be similar, different parts of the world. Anyway, so yeah. Now, if you do have a passport already, you got to dig it out of your bottom drawer or wherever it is, and make sure it's in good condition. It can't be too messed up. Here's my last passport. It's pretty full. And so you do have to make sure it's in pretty good condition, that they can see, all the information on it pretty well. Now, you will have to send in your old passport when you get a new one, but don't worry, they will send it back to you. Especially, if you're nostalgic about your passport and all the stamps you have in it. If you have a lot of stamps, lucky for you, you probably don't need this tip video today. But I'm just saying, because you do get it back. My favorite stamp is actually from Machu Picchu, which isn't actually a real stamp that you need for entering a country, but it was just kind of something fun in Peru, Machu Picchu. They give you a stamp. So, yeah. So another thing to think about is that your passport has to be valid. So make sure you check the validity of it. So I almost forgot about that when I was planning this trip that's coming up to Panama because I hadn't looked at my passport for a while. And depending on the country you're visiting, your passport has to be good for at least 6 months. So some countries it might be a month or 3 months or up to 6 months, I think, from the time that your upcoming trip ends. So it can't expire. So you want to make sure that you're looking very closely at that expiration date. Yeah, and that you have several pages left. Now, I barely had I think one page left. So it's important that you have several pages left for stamps. So that's another one of the guidelines or rules. Again, it kind of depends on the country you're from and the country you're traveling to. Okay, so let's see, where are we now? So yeah, I want to make sure. Yeah, what am I saying? So yeah, it's got to be good. Okay, so then let's say you've got your passport, maybe you've got your new passport. Now, again, they're going to send back your old passport, and I recommend you keep that in a safe location and maybe even bring it with you. It might help in case your other one gets lost. But they do look a little bit different each year. My new passport definitely looks different than the old ones. So this is the new one and this is the old one. So the styles do change a bit. So yeah, you're going to want to make sure you signed that. Wait, here's the new one that you've signed it. Oh, wait, I haven't even signed mine yet. It's so new. So I have to sign it right there. And also make sure you put your contact information in. And that, yeah, that would be here under personal data and emergency contact. And I haven't put mine in yet either. Now, make sure you put that in pencil because your emergency contact might change over the years, right? So these passports are good for several years. This one in the United States is good for 10 years. So anyway, write that in pencil, your emergency contacts. Okay. I want to make sure I've got everything here. Right. So once you get your new passport or you ensure that your old passport is good for at least several months from the time you're going to be planning to come back from your next international trip. Okay. So you've got your passport, then make sure you take photos of it. I always keep a photo on my phone of my passport, especially that front page as well as the back page that has this number. And I usually make copies. So here's a copy of my last passport as well as my driver's license. I like to have several copies. I like to laminate these and I put them in different parts of my luggage. So I'll have an extra copy in my purse and in my carry-on and in my checked luggage, just to be double sure in case you lose your passport. It's just going to make it that much quicker for you to get a new one. And going back to taking your own passport photos, or even if you buy a passport photo, get an extra one and bring that along too. Again, in case you lose your passport or you get it stolen, having that photo ready and is going to be good. Again, here's mine. So having that photo ready is going to really help you to replace that passport if you're in a different country. And it's not the end of the world. I've definitely had friends who've lost their passports, and you just go to the correct place that you'll find in the country to get that replaced. And it's not that hard, but it does sometimes take a few days or a week or so to get that. And you do need that usually to come back home. Okay. So, yeah. And then, anyway, again, you will need your passport, a valid passport in general, before you book your flights, because they generally want you to put that information in when you're booking your flights, that passport number. And then also, if you happen to be have global entry program or have a known traveler number, they're going to want you to put that in as well when you book your flight. And I keep my TSA known traveler number right here in the front on a little sheet here, so that I've got that too, just in case I need that. And global entry and known traveler numbers really help you as well when you're at the airport, to expedite you through the various lines. Okay, so let's say you've got your new passport, you're starting on your trip. So on your trip, make sure that you're always keeping your passport someplace safe. And again, that you have made copies and you have those. I even suggest you take a photo and send it to yourself, and also leave a picture copy with a trusted family member. Again, just redundancy is really important. It's really good when you're traveling, just to make you feel safe in case you lose it. It's not going to completely fix all your problems, but it's better to have a photo of your lost or stolen passport if something happens. So let's say you're starting on your trip. Make sure you're always keeping your passport in a really safe place. And generally keep it in the same place. Don't move it around, between your wallet and your luggage and different places. Always keep it in a safe place, and generally right on your person, maybe even in one of those little passport holders that you put around your neck and put under your shirt, or those passport belts. But it's good to always know exactly where it is so you don't have to think about it. Now, some wallets like mine are built large enough to put your passport in. So my wallet, my passport fits right in there. So it's really perfect. So I really like that style of wallet. And so that's good. Okay, so anyway, now when you're traveling, also try to protect your passport from getting wet or moldy or torn. Now, I tend to go to a lot of tropical places that are wet and moldy. So once I get to my destination, and my passport might be sitting in the same place for days or weeks, I like to put my passport in a Ziploc bag. And I might even add some of those little desiccating packs that sometimes things are shipped in there, and that helps it to keep from getting moldy, because it can definitely get moldy if you're in the tropics for a while, like I'm planning to be in the next month. Okay, so I think that is a lot of that is most of my tips for passports. Now, if you want more tips on travel, make sure to go to my website again, christineelder.com/travel, and you'll learn a lot more about how you can learn all about travel. I have an online course, and it's on sale right now, actually, at that link. And it covers everything you might need to know about travel, especially international travel. I've been lucky to travel throughout the Western Hemisphere, from Alaska to Peru, and I've been to Malaysia, all the way to Eurasia and Turkey. I've really been lucky to travel all over. Not too much Asia and Africa and Antarctica yet, but I'm planning. So anyway, I have a lot of experience, and I love sharing that with people, because I really love helping people, especially solo independent women travelers like me, feel a lot more confident in traveling and have the skills to travel. So, so my travel course covers a lot of topics that I'm going to be sharing with you in the next few days. Like I said, this is the first of my series of daily travel tips that I'm doing throughout the rest of the month until I leave on my next international trip. I'm leaving on the 28th or 29th, I think. And so you'll get to follow along with me as I prepare for that trip. And I'm going to be sharing tips with you in the same order as that I do when I'm getting ready for a trip. So things like packing and luggage and your wardrobe and language and insurance and budgeting and phone plans and all those kind of things. I'm going to tell you a little bit about those each day, and you'll learn a lot more of those in my course. So again, I hope you check out my course, christinelder.com/travel, where you can get 30% off right now off of that course. Okay, well, I'm going to get going because I got to keep working on this course. I'm updating it. We've already got about 50 people in the course that have really been enjoying it. And each time I travel, each year, I go someplace new. I like to update my course with new things I've learned, and that's what I'm doing right now. So, as long as you're a member of my course, you get all those new updates. So, anyway, I got to get going. This is getting kind of long, and I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any questions, I think you can comment below, and I'll try to put a link below as well to my international travel course. Okay, well, thanks for joining me. Bye bye.